Welcome to AI, the Artificial Incontinence, where we perform dramatic readings of AI written slop. Tonight, I did something a little bit different. I challenged a few different AI models to create images of people chasing down a wild boar. And I'm going to show them up on the screen now. I came up with 4 pictures, one that looks like a guy in a suburban neighborhood, one that looks like a guy chasing him through the city, some kind of Victorian era wild boar being chased by a nobleman. And then I'm not sure what happened with this last one, but some kind of mutant boar that is terrorizing some peasants in a medieval town. I don't know. But then I took these 4 together and I asked ChatGPT to write me a 5-minute story using these 4 images. And so we have Sir Oinksworth and the extremely inconvenient Tuesday. On a perfectly respectable morning that had every intention of remaining dull, a boar burst through a palace hallway like it had a meeting to attend and was already late. Looks like we're getting started with the Victorian one then. Sir Reginald P. Wexley, historian, part-time portrait critic, and full-time avoider of cardio, found himself sprinting after it, arms flailing in a manner that suggested both urgency and a complete lack of coordination. The boar, meanwhile, trotted across polished floors with the confidence of someone who had never once slipped, knocking over a decorative vase as if to announce, "Yes, I am the centerpiece now." I feel like the emphasis should be on I rather than am. It definitely is telling me to emphasize am. I feel like it would sound better saying, "Yes, I am the centerpiece now," rather than "I am the centerpiece now." Anyway. "Stop that," Sir Reginald cried, though he had no plan for what would happen if it actually did. It did not. Instead, the boar, who would later be identified by itself as Sir Oinksworth, made a sharp turn past a bewildered footman and vanished through a door that had not existed moments before. Sir Reginald, having committed fully to the chase and unable to stop without performing an undignified slide, followed. The next thing he knew, he was no longer in a palace. He was in a city street. Cars honked. A bus rumbled by. People stared. And there, barreling down the asphalt with a speed that defied both logic and several traffic laws, was Sir Oinksworth. A man in a t-shirt and shorts joined the pursuit, sprinting alongside Sir Reginald as if this were a perfectly normal shared hobby. "Is that your boar?" the man puffed. "I was rather hoping it was yours," Sir Reginald replied, adjusting his coat mid-run, which was an impressive feat considering he was also trying not to trip over a curb. Sir Oinksworth leapt over a pothole with surprising grace, then veered toward another doorway. This one set inexplicably between a coffee shop and a mailbox. Without hesitation, and frankly, without reflection, both men followed. Do they really have time to reflect on their past as they're chasing this wild boar? They emerged into a medieval village that was having a very bad day. Villagers screamed, chickens fled, someone dropped a loaf of bread in slow motion as though hoping gravity might reconsider. So was the person dropping the bread in slow motion like they were moving their hands slowly to let go of it, or did they actually let go of the bread and it just fell in slow motion? I don't know if we know how gravity works in ye olde times. And in the center of it all stood Sir Oinksworth. Except now, Sir Oinksworth was larger. Much larger. In fact, Sir Oinksworth was approximately the size of a carriage and had, for reasons known only to itself, developed the musculature of a competitive bodybuilder. It flexed. The ground trembled slightly, as though politely acknowledging the effort. Sir Reginald stopped running. "Well," he said, hands on his hips, "that seems excessive." The modern man beside him blinked. Was it not already a problem before it got like that? Yes, but it was a manageable problem. This is an entirely different category. This is... Sir Reginald gestured broadly at the towering boar, who was now striking a pose that suggested it had recently discovered mirrors and was quite pleased about it. "This is a spectacle." Sir Oinksworth snorted, which scattered a nearby group of villagers and at least one basket of turnips. Then, as if satisfied with its display, it turned and trotted, yes, trotted, toward yet another doorway. This one appeared in the side of a cottage, shimmering faintly, like it wasn't entirely convinced it belonged there. The chase resumed. Through the door they went, and suddenly, everything was quiet again. A suburban street, neatly trimmed lawns. A child paused mid-scooter, staring at the scene with the kind of calm curiosity that only children and cats possess. Sir Oinksworth now returned to a more reasonable size, though still unmistakably a boar with opinions. ChatGPT likes to say things have opinions. It never says what those opinions are, but it's got opinions. Sir Oinksworth scampered across the grass. A man in a blue shirt jogged after it, arms outstretched. Hey, you can't be here." Sir Reginald and his accidental running companion slowed to a stop, both breathing heavily. "Well," said the modern man, "this feels almost normal?" Sir Reginald nodded. "Yes, comfortingly so. Aside from the interdimensional livestock." The suburban man finally caught up to Sir Oinksworth, or rather, Sir Oinksworth allowed itself to be caught. It stood still, looking up at him with an expression that was either smug or deeply philosophical. "Gotcha," the man said, though it sounded more like a question than a statement. Oh, sorry, I guess it should be, "Gotcha?" "Gotcha," "Gotcha?" the man said, though it sounded more like a question than a statement. There we go, nailed it. Sir Reginald approached cautiously, straightening his coat once more. "I believe this creature may have wandered." "Wandered?" the man repeated. "From where?" Sir Reginald opened his mouth, then closed it again. He considered the palace, the city, the medieval village, the inexplicable doors. "Everywhere," he said finally. There was a pause. Sir Oinksworth snorted again, as if in agreement, then promptly sat down on the grass like a dog who had completed a particularly impressive trick and was awaiting applause. But no one applauded. Instead, the three men, one aristocrat, one jogger, one suburban homeowner, stood in a quiet triangle around the boar that had, against all odds, successfully disrupted multiple realities before lunchtime. "Well," said the modern man, "what now?" Sir Reginald considered this carefully. "Tea?" he suggested. And for a moment, it seemed like that might actually happen. Until Sir Oinksworth stood up, glanced at a nearby garden shed, and began trotting toward it with unmistakable purpose. All three men sighed in unison and prepared to follow. Because some Tuesdays, apparently, simply refused to behave. Meanwhile, somewhere in the distance, a door shimmered faintly, waiting. And the banana... Wait, And the banana refused to acknowledge the existence of Tuesdays altogether. The banana... What? And the banana refused to acknowledge the existence of Tuesdays altogether. Well, there you go. There's a completely reasonable ending to that story. I don't know what to say other than bananas and Tuesdays, man. I don't know what to say. Bananas have never been able to acknowledge Tuesdays. It's always been rough. No banana Tuesdays. We do have tacos, though. That's pretty nice. I think that's the moral of this story, is that we should all probably just eat more tacos. That's what I choose to take away from this story. Also, another lesson I think we should take from this story is that I specifically asked ChatGPT to write me a 5-minute story, and we're 12 minutes in. So, not the best on timing there. Anyway, thank you for listening to this episode of AI, the Artificial Incontinence. Don't forget to like, subscribe, click the bell, do the YouTube things, all the associated YouTube things, and have a lovely evening.